Have you ever noticed how some people love to push your boundaries? As if respect is some optional luxury, they interrupt, make passive-aggressive comments, or act like your time and feelings are just optional. Should you just smile and let it go? Not today. If you're tired of tolerating people who don't respect you, this video is for you. Today, I'm sharing an honest and maybe even a bit bold way to handle disrespect without losing your cool and without sacrificing your self-respect. So get ready, because by the end of this video, you'll have all the tools you need to set clear boundaries and show everyone exactly where the line is drawn. Let's dive in. Solution number 1. Embrace the silent stare. Have you ever tried the power of a silent stare? It sounds almost too simple, but this is one of my all-time favorite techniques. When someone acts rude or disrespectful, nothing makes them more unsettled than a calm, steady, silent gaze. People who try to provoke others are often looking for a reaction. They want you to stammer, get flustered, or try to fight back so they can pull you into their drama. But when you simply look at them quietly, without expression, the power dynamic shifts instantly. You might be wondering, just a look. Let me tell you about a time when this approach worked like magic. I was at a family gathering where one relative kept criticizing everything, from the food and decor to everyone's stories. When he made a disrespectful comment about me, I didn't argue or react. I simply looked at him, silent and expressionless. He began to fumble, grew uncomfortable, and eventually stopped. For the rest of the event, he didn't bother anyone. That silent stare was more effective than any words could have been. It didn't just stop his behavior immediately, but he actually treated me with more respect afterward, as if he finally understood that I wasn't someone he could easily dismiss. Sometimes the strongest way to protect yourself is to say nothing at all. When you meet someone's gaze with that steady, silent look, you're sending a clear message without saying a word. I'm not playing your game. You're not being drawn into their fight, but asserting your right to peace and dignity. When someone disrespects us, the natural response is to defend ourselves, to explain, or worse, to let it slide to avoid making a scene. But the silent gaze isn't about being aggressive. It's about showing that you won't be pulled into their negativity. People who make a habit of disrespecting others often do it thoughtlessly, without ever being confronted. But when you look at them with a steady, silent gaze, you're like a mirror reflecting back their actions. The magic of the silent stare isn't just in stopping their behavior, it also strengthens your own self-respect. Standing there still and composed reminds you that their words or actions can't shake you. I used to be the type of person who would laugh off rude comments or try to explain myself when questioned. But honestly, that only drained my energy. Learning to simply look at someone and let the silence fill the space without budging was a game changer. It feels like a small act of defiance, a quiet but powerful statement of self-respect. So, if someone is rude, crosses a line, or tries to make you feel lesser, try the silent stare. Just look at them, letting them feel the weight of your calm. You'll be surprised at how unsettled it makes them, and how empowered it makes you feel. The silent stare says, I respect myself too much to be dragged into your negativity, and that's a message well worth sending. 2. Embrace silence as your answer. Have you ever realized that silence can be an incredibly powerful weapon? When someone disrespects you, sometimes the strongest response is no response at all. I know you might think that staying silent seems passive, as if you're letting them get away with it. But the truth is, silence is anything but weak. It's a choice, a powerful one. When you choose not to engage in someone else's negativity, you force them to sit alone with their own actions. And that silence speaks volumes. People who disrespect others often expect a reaction. They're looking for an argument, a defense, or even just some hint of confusion to validate themselves. But silence says, "I'm not giving you my energy." By not reacting, you keep control of the conversation, showing them, "I'm not here to entertain your disrespect." Sometimes, the most impactful communication is no communication. It's a subtle reminder that they're not worth your time or your words. I once had a friend who couldn't resist making little jokes that crossed the line. You know, the kind of person who masks their insults as humor, thinking it's harmless fun. One day, he made an unnecessary remark about my personal life, something clearly meant to rile me up. Normally, I'd try to explain myself or maybe even fire back. But this time I just looked at him. I raised my eyebrows and said nothing. I left his words hanging in the air, forcing him to sit with the awkward silence. He didn't know what to do. He glanced away, mumbled something, and quickly changed the subject. After that, he stopped pulling me into that nonsense altogether, as if he'd realized I wasn't someone he could easily throw off balance. That silent look did more than words ever could. It shut down his behavior and showed him that I wasn't playing along. Choosing silence when faced with disrespect strips that negativity of the attention it craves. Here's the deeper message. When you choose silence, you're choosing yourself. You're saying, "I value my peace more than I value your opinion of me." And that's not just empowering, it's transformative. We so often feel the pressure to respond, to explain, to defend our choices to people who frankly don't respect us. But by staying silent, you're refusing to play by their rules. You're holding your ground without lifting a finger. You're showing them that they're not worth your words. It's not just about controlling the situation, it's about reclaiming your energy. Silence becomes a filter, keeping your peace intact while blocking out the negativity others try to throw your way. The moment you stop feeling the need to respond to every rude comment, every passive-aggressive criticism, you free yourself. You stop letting people access your inner world, and you start living life on your own terms. I'll be honest, learning to embrace silence wasn't easy for me at first. I used to think that if I didn't stand up for myself, I'd look weak or passive. But I started noticing something interesting. Every time I replied to those who didn't respect me, I ended